I am sorry that we are getting this video on Wednesday. Push you guys back some. But I had a really tough time watching 90 Day Fiancé. So we're going to just jump into this and try to get it done as quickly as possible. Okay, so welcome back to the channel, you guys. Like I said, I had a really tough time watching 90 Day Fiance, and I am experimenting with my ears. And don't you guys think I could have just pulled them down just like a smidge bit more? Anyway, so I'm going to start with Russ and Powell simply because I'm starting to feel like their whole thing with Juan is like super duper scripted. So this is the Blame Game episode. This is the latest episode, episode 5, I believe. And it is an entire show about who do you place the blame on, literally. I mean, TLC hit the nail on the coffin. Sometimes the titles don't really match the show, but they did amazing this time. So I'm going to start with Russ, Powell, and Juan. I'm starting to think it's a little scripted. I'm starting to think that Russ and Powell might have been a little too good of a couple, and they sent her back home. Like, I do believe that her grandmother was sick, but I think the rest of it, like the rest of the drama that's happening, it's a little scripted because while Juan and Russ don't like each other, it just seems really like escalated really quickly. You know what I mean? Like they haven't seen each other since the last time they've seen each other. And we're not 100% sure what Paul is telling Juan. So it just seems like it escalates like really quick. And so I don't know if it's scripted or if they just really hate each other. Or they just both love Paul so much that each person just has to like bat heads because they both think they know what's best for her. Sorry, guys. And so I think that's what's going on. And we catch up with Russ, Powell, and Juan at the restaurant. Powell has to make a choice. Russ and Juan have done, they both started the situation off completely wrong. Like Russ tried to be the man in the situation, and he basically, in a nutshell, told, Juan, you need to behave tonight like a child. And Juan reacted to that. And what I hate the most is that Powell always tells Russ he's a better man than Juan, so he shouldn't react to Juan's bad behavior. But I want to ask her, how much disrespect do you think a person can take before they react to bad behavior? And that's where I have an issue with Powell. So we're at the restaurant. They all get up and walk outside. Juan walks away like it seems like you're choosing Russ because, so I'll be the one to walk away first. And he walks away and they get outside and it almost gets physical, which is what I've been waiting for. But it was like so anticlimactic, Like it was like being in the schoolyard and you're watching two kids like in each other's face and this is like large crowd of people and you're nosy. And so you go like bust through the crowd because you're expecting something good and then they just take like this, like, I don't know if you guys just do it. Okay, those are dangerous. But like they used to take like something trash or something off the ground and they would put it on your shoulder and be like, knock my mom off my shoulder and I'll slap you type of stuff. And that's what it seemed like to me. Like everybody was just knocking their mothers off because Juan was like acting like he was going to hit Russ, but he wasn't close enough. And Russ was acting like he was going to hit Juan. And it was just so dramatic. So they get into the car and Powell tells Russ she really wishes that he didn't say what he said to Juan because that's what set it off. That whole, behave situation is what set him off. So Russ refuses to take any blame. He's like, absolutely not. This is not my fault. He starts flipping me off with his eyebrow thing, and that's all on him. And Powell's like, no, dude, like, you should not have said and done what you did. Like, that's what got this. And Russ just keeps saying, I should have punched him. I should have punched him. And I'm like, Russ, he wasn't going to punch nobody. Cut it out. And so it was just, like, so dramatic. And I could have done without it. They got back to the hotel, and Powell was steady telling Russ that he should have just like came in, shook Juan's hand, said hi, and sat down. And now she's going to be sitting around wondering if Russ wouldn't have done what he did, would the night have gone the way she wanted it to? And she'll never know because Russ feels like he's not wrong. And he pushes her in the corner and tells her he's tired of, taking the blame for stuff. And he's tired of her trying to like choose between. So she needs to make a choice and she needs to make a choice now. And she tells him to shut up and she gets up and she goes into the bathroom. And that's where we leave them, right there in that bathroom. And this time, I feel like Russ was wrong because we will never know. If he wouldn't have done what he did, would the night have gone the way she needed it to go? We'll never know. So that's how we leave Russ and Powell. Sucky, 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 and anticlimactic. Could have done without it. Let's move on to David and Annie. Now, David is trying, and that's saying something. He's making me. No, he's not. No, he's not. That's a lie. Okay, so I'm happy that he's trying. I was about to say proud, but I'm not quite there yet. I was about to say he makes me like him just a little bit, but I'm not quite there yet. But I am happy. He makes me happy that he is trying to get a connection back with his grandkids and Ashley and try to bring Annie into it. So this episode, David, Annie, Ashley, her fiance Oscar, I think, and his daughter, and then her kids, they all go to the Louisiana. I call it Louisiana Zoo. And they look like they're having a really good time. And at first, Annie was a part of it. She looked like she was holding one of the grandkids' hands. And I thought everything was going to go okay. And then something happens. Something that we don't even see ourselves. But I can assume that when she sees David with her, with his grandkids and his daughter and the daughter's fiance, maybe it was like a disconnect for Annie because she doesn't have children. And she's just kind of there. She's like the step grandmother. Like nobody really asks for you, but you're here type thing. And so Annie starts off with everybody and acting as if she enjoying herself. But then something happens where she walks off from the group and she goes to like play on her phone or do whatever she's doing on her phone. She says that she's uncomfortable around Ashley because she knows Ashley doesn't like her. She doesn't feel a part of this family. And she's just uncomfortable. And so for me, it's like, well, this is the day, Annie, to kind of like figure it out. You have to make an effort. Like you have to make an effort to be a part of the family, just like they have to make an effort to bring you in. And so for me, for Ashley's not defending, but for Ashley to say, I want you and Annie to meet us at the zoo so we can all hang out and try to fix this. That was the olive branch. And the moment that you decided in your head that this wasn't for you, because you didn't feel like they were bringing you in enough, but I don't feel like you were trying hard enough. Like when you are a part of someone else's family, you have to put in effort just like the family do to make it all work. And I just see Annie wanting everybody to kind of kiss her ass, and I'm a little bit over that. Like Ashley has had bad moments, but that's to be expected when your father left you and then he comes back with a woman that's literally your age and expects you to just be like, okay. Whereas though, I feel like Annie has been having a hard time too, but something like that, a family outing to the zoo, is a time for you to make an effort. And if they push you away, then you can at least say that you made an effort. But she didn't even try. Like Annie didn't even talk. She didn't say hi to Jacob. They called Jacob to check on him. You know, he's in Texas with his mom healing. He's gone through a couple of surgeries and he's coming through. She didn't even get up after I cried a little bit when the last episode where they were all together and she gives, Jacob these bracelets to like be able to pray for him while he's gone. So it seemed like to make such a gesture like that and then to not get up and like say hi to Jacob and check on Jacob, it's like you're purposely pulling yourself away from the family. So how can I feel bad that you feel out of place when you're not doing anything yourself also to try to make it okay? So after the zoo is over and he talked to Jacob, David and Annie go to a little restaurant that looked like it's still on the zoo property, and he gets her coffee and he asks her, is everything okay? And she's like real nonchalant about it. And then she finally blurts out that she wants children of her own. David, promised that they would have children, and she just doesn't believe David anymore. David seems to always have an excuse, and she just wants him to hold up to these promises that he made back in Thailand. And we find out David had a vasectomy. So I'm trying to figure out when we found that out, because if she's known from the beginning, she had to understand or at least know that a vasectomy isn't something that you can just go. I mean, you can just get it reversed, but it doesn't always work once you get it reversed. Just like sometimes it doesn't work when you get it. People still get pregnant from dudes who had vasectomies. Sometimes the shit doesn't work. So it's not like this simple process where we can pop a couple of pills and sperm again. You know what I mean? So excuse me, y'all. I just feel like Annie has these expectations that David never should have made to her in the first place, but she refuses to try to understand them. And you know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of the Filipino girl. I don't remember her name. The one that had the blue eyes, if you guys watched it, before the 90 days, where Josh had the vasectomy and she was like telling him that he was like not a man for having it or something like that. I think in the cultures like that, you don't get vasectomies. for masculinity purposes. Like you're more of a man when your kids swim. So Annie basically tells David that she doesn't believe him and she wants him to just stop trying to make plans with her because they never come through. And I understand her frustration on that part of things. They've been back in the States for 6 months or 7 months, probably at that point, and nothing has really changed for them. It just seems to be getting progressively worse. However, I think that she missed a golden opportunity to try to connect with the grandkids and Ashley and Ashley's fiance and try to bring herself in so she would at least have someone to talk to. So I just feel bad. David gives another really great speech, just believe in me, and Annie's just like, yeah, we should just not talk about this again. And David's like, he's just a little disappointed that Annie's disappointed, and I'm like, well, in that stand of things, you not having a job, us having to find this imaginary money to make things happen, it's like, it's frustrating and it takes a lot on a person, especially if there was an expectation of what life in America would be, and then you find out that it's not. So that's where we leave David and Annie. Annie is pissed, y'all. So let's go ahead and swing it to the south. Well, far south. I'm going to Nicole. So, no, yeah, we're going to take it to Nicole because I got some stuff to say about Louise, Molly, Chantel, and Pedro. So, Nicole, y'all already know how I feel about Nicole. I am annoyed by Nicole. Nicole irks my spirits and my soul. And on this episode, Nicole is like packing and she's getting all her stuff together so she can go to Morocco and be with Azin. And she gets a phone call during an interview from one of her friends who has found some voice recordings online of Azin telling another girl that he just woke up and he's so sleepy and he misses her kisses and a kiss would be so good right now. So I guess Shorty was like, oh yeah? All right then. And she posted that to the internet and people found them. I've been looking for them. And if I can find them before I get this video to you guys, I'm going to put them in there. But basically, that's all he was saying is that he missed some girl or whatever. Nicole snaps. And I laughed a couple of times. Not at her pain. Kind of at her pain. Okay. So listen. She's a cheater. Okay? She's a cheater. Like, this is what we know as a fact. She is a cheater. She has cheated on Azin twice that we know of. Okay? So, all right. Why are we upset about these voice recordings, Nicole? You're a cheater. Like, I'm not saying that he has a right to cheat back. I'm just saying when you're a cheater, sometimes karma bites us in the butt. Like, we do bad things and then bad things happen to us. It usually goes that way. And so, Azin is like, what recordings? Who are you talking about? And then when he finally realized what she was talking about, because he tried to sweep it down, it wasn't him. Once he finally realized that he could not lie his way out of it, he tells her, oh, it was a joke. My friends, were just playing around and we were just leaving voicemails on different girls' phones while we were drunk. It was a joke. It wasn't nothing serious. Nothing happened. I love you. Don't you love me? And I'm like, oh, Azin, she's going to fall for that. And she does, like an idiot, because Nicole doesn't think past her nose. Listen, you're getting ready to pick up your life and move to America. Wrong. Well, yeah, wrong. He was going to pick up his life and move to America, even though you were a cheater. You're about to pick up your life and move to Morocco, even though he's a serial voicemail leaver. I'm not sure if he cheated. We don't know. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but we don't know. We don't know. I don't know. Azin doesn't have any damn money, so it isn't like he's spending it on these girls. So, okay, whatever, I guess. So she believes him. She goes outside and she says, it's fine. It's all fine. As long as we get there and he proves to me 10 times over that he's going to be a good guy, I don't care. I'm going to Morocco. I'm still going. And I'm just like, God, you're so stupid, Nicole. And this isn't like, oh, I'm in love. Like, you're just stupid. It's all bad, honestly. So the next scene with Nicole, we're at the dress shop. And no one besides her and whoever that friend was that called her, and Azin and us, know anything about the recordings. So she's at the dress shop with her best friend, the girl that we met in the first episode. And Nicole goes to try her dress on and she starts to have a panic attack, a big one. And I think it was just the idea of leaving everything and everyone that she knows, taking her kid across the world to Morocco to live, on top of the video, like the voice recordings of Azin. I think it was just all too much for her. She started to have a panic attack, and she starts to explain that she's leaving everything that she knows and loves. And I still couldn't really feel bad for Nicole, and even in that scene, because these people that are coming from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and Morocco and wherever else we've seen on the show, they pack up and come over here, and no one has any sympathy for them. And so for me, it's like, I mean, he was going to do it. So, girl, you good. Like, go ahead and go over there to your man, because you're going to go anyway. You told us already. And so she basically explains to us that she just was about to have a panic attack. And that was it. Like, all right, girl, the dress was pretty, but I don't think it's appropriate for the ceremony, which I explained in my last video. Her boobs are all out. Her arms are all out. And she doesn't have anything to cover herself. And I think it's super inappropriate when you're at another place in the world that does not present themselves that way. I think you're being disrespectful, but Nicole does what she wants. So the next and last scene that we see with Nicole, she all packed up, and her apartment's gone, and everything's gone, and they're on their way to the airport, and her mother is just like in tears, and she is just not feeling it. And she's like, I think that Asin is milking Nicole for all she's worth. And I think he's playing her. And God, I hope he's not playing her. Like, she is still praying. And I am praying with you, sis, because Asin is playing her. Like I said, I don't know if Asin cheated, but I know Asin's getting $1. And now that she's coming to his country, it's going to be a little bit different, because now she can't control things. There is no going home. That is home. And you have to grow up quickly, Nicole. And so they get to the airport, okay? And Asin calls, like, you were supposed to send me X amount of dollars. And she's like, I could not do that because I have to pay for my bags. I have a bunch of bags. Like, I have to pay for this stuff. And he's like, you should have told me. And she's like, I know I should have told you, but listen, I'm about to get on this plane. This is not the time to be trying to have this argument with me. And he's just like going in about this money situation. And her mother's like, is everything okay? And she's like, he's just a little upset that I didn't send him the amount of money that I said I was going to send him. He's all right, though. And her mother's like, is he just using you, Nicole? And she's like, don't do that right now. Don't do that. So they finally get up to the, where we can't pass when we're with people. They get up to the gate, and Mom hugs May and hugs Nicole, and she cries, and May doesn't realize what's happening. And I feel so bad for May, because she doesn't realize that she's going to be in another country because of her mother's stupid goddamn decisions, and she's going to be there for a year. And I just feel bad for May. I don't feel bad for anyone else in this situation but May, because she doesn't get what the hell is happening. And Nicole is so effing selfish. She should have just left her kid. Like, I don't know if she should have left her kid, because if she'd have left her kid, it'd not have been like, why are you leaving your kid? So I don't know how I feel about the May thing. I just wish that Nicole just wasn't going to Morocco and just would have waited. But whatever, dude. She's on the damn plane now. So we'll find out what happens once she gets to Morocco, maybe next episode. I didn't see her in the trailer for the next episode, so we may not see Nicole for a couple of episodes. All right, so let's swing it back up a little bit to Georgia, and that's where we're going to stay and end. I'm going to do Chantel and Pedro, because they're Lord. Okay, so Chantel and Pedro get back home from vacation. Horrible vacation, by the way. And Pedro feels like he's owed an apology. And I'm like, but why? Why do they need to apologize? For wanting to investigate you? Dude, if you don't get over yourself, like, nobody's apologizing to you, Pedro. Damn it, your mother sounds like she's running out a damn marriage ring. Like, we need to investigate that. My kid is way more important than whatever your little ego has going on. So they get back, and when they get there, the dad is like, how was everybody's trip? And I'm like, Thomas, you know damn well that trip was bullshit. It probably wouldn't have been if Pedro wouldn't have got drunk and opened his damn mouth, but he did. So that's where it ended. Like, nobody said anything when they got out of the car. So the next scene we see is Pedro in the gym working out, and he's just like, oh, I miss my family. Chantel family's crazy. He keeps calling them crazy. And I'm just like, are they though? Like, are they though, Pedro? Like, you said some kind of fishy shit, bro. Like, we need to figure out what's really going on for the safety of our kid. And she didn't make him sign the prenup, so we definitely need to figure out, oh, did he sign it? I think he did sign the prenup. I'm not sure. I gotta, like, go back and check that out. So He's in the gym. He calls his sister. They have this conversation, and then he invites her to come to Georgia because he misses her. Now, my beef isn't that he invited her to come to Georgia. My beef is that he didn't talk to Chantel, and he knows that there's a problem between the sister and his wife. So that would be a conversation that we would definitely have to have before you could just tell somebody they could stay in our home. That's a conversation. I mean, me and Aaron have conversations like that. Like, people be like, "Can we stay? I mean, it's just gonna be for a night or so." And Aaron be like, "Can they stay?" Because my ass might say no. I might not be in the mood for company. I might not be in the mood to, like, super duper clean this house so that somebody can be here. So I mean, it's just a conversation to have. And he didn't have it, and now his sister is on her way to Georgia, and Pedro decides that he was going to take Chantel furniture shopping. That's the next scene that we see them in. And they're furniture shopping. And as they're looking at couches and she's thanking him and being like, we've been trying to get new furniture. I appreciate this so much, Pedro. Pedro hits her with I got to tell you something. I don't have the money for the furniture. And she's like, what? And like, my sister's coming. I paid for her ticket. And Chantel, in every single right, had a right to be angry. You send them money. You send them stuff, and you bought their plane ticket. But every time I had to come see you, you never bought my plane ticket. You never offered to buy my plane ticket. I always had to buy my own plane ticket. You send them money. She should have saved her money so she could come. And then Pedro drops another bomb. She's staying for 2 weeks. She ain't staying with me for 2 weeks. That's a long damn time. And then we gotta support her food. And oh, hell no, Pedro. You need to find your sister a hotel. Okay, and you and your sister can go stay at that damn hotel because she ain't gonna stay here. She's not gonna stay in this house on this furniture that you refuse to goddamn replace. And for 2 weeks, 2 whole ones. Oh, you should have took your ass back to the DR, bro, because she can't stay here. He is so selfish. He's so super he's so damn selfish. And at first, I really did like Pedro and Chantel, but now I'm starting to feel and see what her family feels and sees, because everything just seems like it's a big ass joke to him and he doesn't care. And my issue isn't about you inviting her. You can invite whoever, but the staying with us and the money being spent. And they walked out the furniture store without a couch. Chantel told him to tell his sister to keep the drama back in the DR. She didn't want it. She didn't want to be around it. And he seemed like he was irritated. And then he made a comment like, my sister can control herself, but Chantel can't. And I'm just like, dude, you just constantly put your family over your wife. Like, why did you even get married? He keeps saying he loves her, but I don't believe that shit for 1 minute. I think he loves his family way, way more than he loves Chantel. And it shows every stinking time that he has to do something, and it's between the sister and mother and his wife. He always chooses them. I'm done with Pedro. I'm over it. It's just going to continue to get worse. And that brings us to Woodstock, Georgia. Damn it, Molly and Luis. So Molly is in the house. Her mom walks in, and they sit down and they have a conversation in regards to what happened when Molly was out of town. And so mom asks, how did the conversation with Luis go? And she said it went the way she thought it was going to go. She knows that he's not happy, and everything that people said to her, all the reasons why they wouldn't work, it's showing itself. Like, he's way too young. He's not ready to be a kid. Like, he's not ready to have kids or be a stepfather. And everybody told her this in the very beginning, and she just chose to not hear or believe it. And so she expresses those feelings to her mother, and the mother asks her, are you still in love? And Molly kind of hunches her shoulders. So in the next scene, we see Molly and Luis at each other's throats. He has locked himself in the guest room. And she's like, dude, you need to figure out what you're going to do. I don't care what you're going to do, but I want you out of my house. And he's in there on the phone lying. And she's like, why are you lying? Tell the truth. Tell whoever it is that you're talking to the truth. Tell them that you don't want to be a dad. You don't, tell the truth. And he's steady lying and saying he's going to call the police. And she's like, well, if you call the police, that's pretty stupid on your part, because if you call the police, this is my house. You don't pay any bills here. And you don't have your green card. So you want to call the police? Okay, that's dumb. And so he comes downstairs while she's doing her interview. He grabs his speaker or whatever, and he starts playing this music. And she's like, turn the music off. No one wants to hear that right now. Nobody wants to hear this crazy ass music. Turn the music off. And so he's pushing the door on her. She's trying to push through the door. She's like, turn the music off. Turn it off. And so it just slowly starts to escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate. And Molly says that she doesn't feel safe in her home. And so she's trying to get him to leave. She's trying to get him out, but he won't leave and he's not talking to her. And she said it's been like that. He won't sleep with her. He won't sleep in the room with her. Like, it's just spiraling quickly. And she says that she thinks that Luis, she says she thinks that he's here for all the wrong reasons. And in my head, I'm going, yeah, I kind of figured that out. The rest of the world figured that out when he didn't want nothing to do with your kids. And so she makes a a smart decision to say that he's not in love with her. And to be in love with her is to be in love with all of her candles, her statues, her kids, everything. And he's just not into any of that stuff. And so it goes off of her at the door trying to get in, and her telling him that he needs to go. And that's it. That's what we dealt with. And I did it in under 30. Yes. I'm gonna add some pictures in here for you guys because I'm proud. Yes, damn it, we did that. So that is how the show goes off. It goes off with Molly and Luis fighting, basically. So we will find out Sunday the outcome, and of course I'll be back with another review for you guys. So if you like these videos and you like what I do and you made it the 27 minutes that this is going to probably be on once I get out of here, thank you guys so much. And thank you to all of my new subscribers. Oh my goodness, like, we are starting to move again, and that makes me happy. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for listening to my crazy reviews of 90 Day Fiancé. I love you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. Comment down below because I love it when you do. And I will see you guys next time. Go be great.